All right, YouTube, moment of truth. Let's see what's going on. Hey, no check engine light, no tire pressure sensor. My baby is back. I know what you guys like. Let me get you a little something. Get you a little something to start the video off proper. Woo-hoo! My baby is back. YouTube, it's your boy Knockout 360 here with another video, another glorious Friday. Glorious Friday. Sun is out, a couple clouds, quite a few clouds, but the sun is out. My baby's back, man. Look at the dash. No lights, no check engine, no tire pressure, no gas. I'm in eco mode. Chill out, calm down. All right, calm down, guys. I'm trying to get 20 miles to the gallon on. I'm just playing. But man, my car is back. She's 100%. Everything's taken care of. I want to thank each and every last one of you guys that were, reaching out to you, boy. I feel like, you guys reaching out like somebody died. Like, I guess as car guys, whenever our car is messed up, it's the equivalent of somebody dying, right? But no, I appreciate each and every last one of you guys. Hit me up in the DMs, man. Hit me in the comments asking how my baby's doing. She's doing perfectly fine at this point. Perfectly fine. Everything's good. Remote start is good. No lights, no TPMS sensor lights. To my understanding, I'm not messing. I'm not even gonna do that because look at him. He all over the line. He gonna mess me up. It's yours. You can have it. It's yours. But so basically, Dodge said the first time that the check engine light came on, what you gonna do? What you gonna do? Just take it. But basically, the first time that I took it up to Dodge with the check engine light, like I told you guys, it was a faulty PCM. They replaced the PCM. Also, I was having TPMS sensor issues. It would come on sparingly or sporadically or whatever the case may be. Took it up to Dodge, they replaced the PCM. I got it maybe 20-30 miles and then the check engine light came right back on. You feel what I'm saying? And it was something totally different. Had something to do with the brakes. I don't remember the code exactly. I think it was P057B as in Bravo, something like that. But said it had something to do with the brakes, which funny enough, I've always had for some reason, this particular car, when I would hit the brakes, it would break the car or whatever. The lights would come on and everything, but sometimes the brake would get stuck right at the top of coming back, and as a result, it would keep my brake light on, and then my brake light would throw a ESC traction disabled notification or a light on my car or whatever, and that was a whole different issue. That's something I've actually been dealing with since I bought the car. They took care of that. That last code that showed up actually had something to do with that, so I guess the car was finally picking up on that brake light issue, that brake issue, or whatever the case may be. So it finally picked it up, and I took it to Dodge that second time. They replaced the TPMS sensor. I think I'm being redundant when I say TPMS. I think the S does stand for sensor, tire pressure monitoring system. Nope, it doesn't. Tire pressure monitoring system sensor. They replaced that one in the front left. That's been all gravy since. And they had to, quote unquote, relearn or reprogram the car in such a way that it relearned the brakes or something weird that they were telling me, man. It made much more sense when he told me as opposed to me telling you now. But that was the case with that. Thus far, my baby is back in good order. I've been driving her ever since, every single day. I'm not even gonna lie, I've been driving the hell out this car. We just hit 10,000 miles. I hate being this close to the wall. Come on, man, get out of my way. Get out of my way. Oh my God, it's a rental car. Yeah. Told you, get out of my way. But yeah, everything's in good order, man. I've been in track mode, I've been in my custom modes, nothing's popping up. I've been remote starting the shit, well, you know, normal or whatever the case may be, normal use. Everything's good, man. I'm glad to have my car back in good order, back in good shape, working how it should, working how it should have, considering it's a brand new damn car. But little stuff like that happens, man. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, these cars are electromechanical vehicles, and I say that to say this car probably has just as much, if not more, technology than a damn MacBook Pro. You know what I'm saying? And that's a $3,000 laptop, or at least $2,500 laptop. That's what I paid for mine. But you know, and these cars have just as much technology, sensors, software, all that stuff has to be updated and reprogrammed. The car itself was never a question. It always drove perfectly fine. I pushed it hard, as you can see in my previous videos. Never had a problem pushing it. Even when the check engine light was on and the TPMS sensor light was on, the car still ran like a beauty. Never had any mechanical issues thus far, knock on wood. Everything's good to go. It was just one of those things where I guess, you know, I'm just having a lot of back-to-back software, you know, sensor issues, and it just so happened that those things were kind of right after another. I'll be honest with you guys, kind of through my trials and tribulation of owning this car thus far. Now, mind you, like I said, mechanically everything's sound. The car does exactly what it's supposed to. You know, it's still a beast on the streets, don't get it twisted. But ever since I've kind of documented some of the errors and problems that I've had with this car, I'll be honest with you, I've had a lot of you guys hit me up in the DMs about some of your own trials and tribulations with this particular car, with the 2020 Dodge Charger Widebody, Scat Pack specifically. Believe it or not, I think the Hellcat guys are okay, and that kind of makes sense because, you know, Dodge is going to put all of their premium products and all of their premium fixtures and everything in the Hellcat, so you shouldn't have any issues with that. Not to mention that's a, what, north of $80,000 car, so you damn sure better not have any issues with that. At least me, if I was buying a Hellcat. But what was I gonna say, man? A lot of you guys have been reaching out to me, hollering at your boy. We better not be hitting no traffic. Hitting your boy up, explaining the stuff that you've been going through. Literally everything that I've gone through with my car, at some point or another, someone else is going through the same thing or something similar. The first issue was the clicking of the wheels. There was like 6 or 7 of you guys that hit me up about that. A lot of you guys thought it was normal. Whenever your car is making a loud noise like that, it's never normal. It's not necessarily that something's broken. It could just be a situation where that's not right. That shouldn't be making that noise at 2,000 miles. You feel what I'm saying? A lot of you guys had that issue, and thus far I think that that's kind of a known issue at this point with Dodge. They took care of that for me. I never had that issue going forward. Then the check engine lights came out of nowhere, throwing one code about the PCM and then throwing another one about the brake. I spoke to another one of my homeboys. He said he had a cylinder issue, like literally it was a mechanical issue with his car, and he had to have his not cylinder replaced, but long story short, he took it to Dodge, had him fix it, whatever the case may be. So, you know, little stuff like that, like the check engine light, that was more of an annoyance than anything, specifically because, I mean, they took care of that relatively easy. It wasn't a matter of the car's not driving appropriately, and technically, you know, when you see the check engine light, your heart drops, because it's like, you know, that's the equivalent of going to the doctor and the doctor says something's wrong with your heart. Like, that's the brain of the car, the engine obviously of the car. So whenever you see a check engine light, it freaks the shit out of you, because it's like, why am I having a check engine light at 8,000 miles? You know what I'm saying? In my case, it wasn't the engine at all. It wasn't any of the major components. It wasn't the mechanical. It was strictly sensors going bad, sensors misreading things. They had to end up replacing said sensors, and thus far I have my baby back in good order, functioning in good order, looking in good order, the whole nine. The brake pedal issue, that's something I've been dealing with ever since I bought the car. I thought it was weird because, you know, when you push the brake, you expect it to have that snapback, and sometimes you can hear it snap back. You know what I'm saying? For some reason, my brake was really sluggish with the snapback, and sometimes it would get stuck. So my brake lights would be on, obviously, and I'm not on the brake at all. And then after your brake lights are on for a certain period of time and you're accelerating, I guess the car is looking at it like, well, something's wrong here. If the brake lights are on, that must mean that you're braking. But if you're accelerating, then there's a problem there. So we would throw ESC notification on my DID or whatever the case may be. Got that taken care of. At this point, it should be smooth sailing from here. A lot of people hit me up about mods and stuff like that. I plan on doing modifications. Obviously, we're not going to leave this stock. Nobody does. Come on now. But given the fact that I've gone through what I've gone through recently, taking it in for check engine lights, clicking of the wheels, tire pressure, sensors going, I don't want to do anything to jeopardize my car. Hold on. I love how hard our cars shift. They shift so hard. I can always tell when a 392 is in the area by that shift. That shift is so hard and loud. But at this point, I don't want to jeopardize my car's kind of good standing, if you will, with modifications, because I've been talking about, maybe I haven't. I'm not even going to mention that. But there are a lot of things that I want to do to this car, and I have planned. And I'm just pushing them off a little bit just because I just got my car fully functioning. I don't want another damn check engine light being thrown or transmission code being thrown, something crazy at this point. You know what I'm saying? And I guess a lot of you are probably looking at it like, well, you probably rather have that code thrown now while it's still under warranty, as opposed to waiting until it's no longer under warranty and now you got to pay out of pocket. True, but you know, whatever. I want to wait. I want to give it some time. So I'm not going to mod it just yet. All the mods that I've done have just been like exterior stuff, interior stuff. Nothing under the hood. I haven't touched anything yet. Still got the OEM tires and rims on there. You know what I'm saying? But guys, my car is back, man. And it feels good. It feels good to be in the car with no lights, no sounds. Everything's functioning. I can remote start my car from my phone, from the key, even from my smartwatch. If you guys have an Apple smartwatch and you still have the Uconnect service, you need to download the Uconnect app on your Apple Watch. It's legit. I can start my car, cancel the remote start, lock it, unlock it. It'll tell me the fuel level, the oil level, the miles. It'll give me everything. And then of course you're getting your monthly vehicle report emails that get sent to you as well. So definitely something you want to look into and look out for. You know what I'm saying? But this video, guys, was just kind of give you guys an update. At this point, the baby's in good order. She's fine. She's ready for the streets. She's ready for the meets. Oh, that's Challenger right there. V6, whatever. That's kind of how I saw my situation. At this point, everything should be rectified and good. A lot of you guys, boy, I tell you, you love to jump to conclusions. A lot of you guys, oh, it's a lemon law. Check your laws in North Carolina for the lemon law and take it up there and get you a good lawyer and sue them. Like, whoa, whoa, whoa. All right, it's not that bad, all right? I think per the lemon law, it has to be the same issue at least 3 times that simply hasn't been fixed. So we got another scat pack right here. What you gonna do? You wanna play? You're about to see it. Yep. All right, you better chill out now. But you know what I'm saying? It's one of those things where it's not the same issue. A lot of you guys were, oh, lemon law, call the authorities, get you a good lawyer, make sure you're documenting all this, keep all of your video clips and all this stuff. It's not that serious just yet, guys, real talk. It's not that serious, calm down, things aren't that bad, you know what I'm saying? And to my understanding, if you start to evoke or invoke the lemon law and you want to take things to court, like that could be a really big ordeal for you. Like most dealerships aren't going to just roll over and give you a brand new car or pay you the money that you paid on your car. Like you're gonna have to fight with them, because think about it, that's a $50,000, $60,000 investment or payment or whatever, or profit that they've made, and now you want them to pay you out or give you a brand new whatever. It doesn't work that way. So it's ready to play. All right, so with that being said, I will see you guys in the next video. As always, it's been your boy Knockout 360. Peace.